The CoreLogic Home Value Index, out this morning, showed a rise of 0.8% over July, after 0.5% in June, 1.76% in May and 1.7% in April. The annual rate of growth across the capitals, 6.1%, was its slowest since September 2013, but it was the 50th month that the combined capitals have been in growth mode. Since June 2012, combined capital city dwelling values have risen 38.3%. CoreLogic senior research analyst Cameron Kusher said there had definitely been a slowing of growth in the last couple of months, though activity was still strong in places such as Sydney and Melbourne. He expected the next move by the RBA on interest rates to be down tomorrow. "I think interest rates will probably be cut tomorrow largely because inflation is very low," he said. But RBA will keep a close eye on the housing impact of any rate cut. He said given a big pullback by investors and the fact that first home buyers were sluggish, it was upgraders that would drive the market, something he believed would eventually see Sydney and Melbourne growth hit the brakes. That's the thing that will eventually slow Sydney and Melbourne. It's not financially viable to upgrade every 3 or 4 years. They will probably reach a point where not many upgraders will be active in the market and will slow. It will happen within this decade, but as to when, that's anyone's guess. CoreLogic head of research Tim Lawless said the recent moderation in the rate of capital gains should be seen a positive sign that dwelling values may be returning to more sustainable levels. However, the growth trend rate is still tracking considerably faster than income growth, resulting in a deterioration of housing affordability. He said, using Sydney as a case in point, the Australian National University estimates that Sydney household incomes have grown by approximately 4.5% per annum since June 2012, while dwelling values are up 12.1% per annum. In the current growth cycle, which began in Sydney and Melbourne, saw cumulative 61.3% and 42.0% growth over the cycle to date. Hobart has seen values rise 17.6% over the growth cycle, followed by Brisbane, 17.4%, Adelaide, 14.3%, and Canberra, 12.4%. Adelaide was a surprise performer over the month, 1.4%, just pipping Sydney, 1.3%, and Melbourne, 1.1%. But that's where any similarities ended. Sydney and Melbourne continued to blitz the rest of the market, with year-on-year growth of 9.1% and 7.5% respectively. 4 of Australia's 8 capital cities saw dwelling values fall over July, including Brisbane, -0.8%, Perth, -0.9%, Darwin, 6.2%, and Canberra, -0.7%. Of those 4, only Canberra was able to pull out of negative territory in the quarterly data, 0.7%, while Brisbane, -0.9%, Perth, -4.3%, and Darwin, -7%, went backwards. The RBA Board monetary policy decision is expected to be handed down at 2 p.m. tomorrow East. Highlights over the 3 months to July: 201. Best performing capital city, Sydney +5.6. Weakest performing capital city, Darwin -7.0. Highest rental yields, Darwin houses with gross rental yield of 5.3% and Hobart units at 5.3. Lowest rental yields, Melbourne houses with gross rental yield of 2.8% and Sydney units at 3.9. Most expensive city, Sydney with a median dwelling price of $. Most affordable city, Hobart with a median dwelling price of $. Source: CoreLogic. Originally published as Open Door for Rate Cut as Home Value Growth Slow.